If you've been working in Android development using Eclipse with the Android Developer Tools plugin, you can easily import those projects into Android Studio. To demonstrate this, I've provided a project in the folder ch030302 named XML Pull Parser. This is a project that I created for a previous course, one that describes how to work with files on an Android device, and this particular project only uses tools that are a part of the Android SDK. I'll go to the Android Studio welcome screen, and just like I did when I imported a project from the command line environment, I'll click Import Project. Then I'll navigate to the project I want to import. I'll start at the desktop, where I've created my exercise files. Then I'll go to the 0302 folder, and I'll import the project XML Pull Parser. I'm using the same tools I did for the command line project, so the steps are exactly the same as well. I'll click Finish, and that imports the project. Now, one thing that will be very common when you import a project from Eclipse is that the old version of the project might be using an old API level. This particular project was built with API level Android 17. And to find out what that really means, I'll go here to the SDK Manager and see that that's Android 4.2 Jelly Bean. Now, you could go and download that API level with the SDK Manager, but if you're still working on a project you developed way back then, you might decide instead that you want to target the latest version of Android and get access to all the great new tools that are available in these new versions. To do that, I'll go to my project window, and I'll open the project, and I'll go to the app module, and I'll open the file build.gradle. And I'll change the compile SDK version and the target SDK version to the most recent API level as of the current time of recording. That's API level 23 for Android 6 Marshmallow. I'll also see that there's an error message down here in the dependencies section, indicating that I need to use the same version of the support library as of the compile SDK version. So I'll change this to 23. Now I get a warning indicating that the SDK installation doesn't have the Android support repository installed. That warning might or might not be accurate at this point. To find out, I'll go up here and click Try Again and try to sync up my Gradle configuration file with the rest of the project. Once all the indexing is complete, I see a message at the bottom of the screen telling me that there's a more recent version of the support library available, 23.2.0. So I'll change that again, and once again I'll click Sync Now, and now the Gradle build file doesn't display any warnings or errors, and I should be able to run the app on my device. So I'll click the Run button, and as before, I'll use my physical device, the Nexus 5X. After a moment, the app is packaged and copied to the device and then launched, and I see that the application works exactly as I expected. So once again now, I've imported a pre-existing project from another development environment, and this time I've had to make a few changes in the configuration files to make it completely compatible with the current version of Android Studio and the latest version of all of the components of the Android SDK.